by Lois Inman.
Pardon the handwriting, it's a little bono. Greetings and good evening, Commissioners. I'd like to thank you for making this event possible. I represent the over 200 members of Lane 912 Lane, and I think I fairly represent their point of view in the matter at hand. Often when talking about law or politics, one hears a response to questions that an issue is complicated, or the right thing to do depends. Fortunately, this issue of protecting our civil rights is no more complicated than your oath of office, and depends on nothing more than a clear understanding of our rights as citizens of this nation and this state. We are all aware of the potential evil that government represents. We all admit to the corrupting influence of power and the responsibility of citizens and their local leadership to remain vigilant. Government overreach, assumption of forbidden powers, and the weakening of civil liberties and freedom. This is why we are here tonight, to ask you to move to protect us and our civil rights. The power of a government official to merely declare a citizen a threat, to cast upon that citizen a popular label for an enemy, and thereby legalize kidnapping and imprisonment without charge or trial, cannot be allowed, and it cannot in any way be thought as in keeping with those fundamental human rights we have enumerated in our law, which the writers of that law believe were inviolable by any government. Indeed, I ask you, what kind of person, what sort of elected official would grant himself the power to do such a thing to any of us? What sort of person would want that option? So I would ask you to consider two names from our own political history: Richard Nixon, Lyndon Johnson. Between them, they were responsible for the death of tens of thousands of American lives and millions of lives from countries deemed to be enemies. I ask you, would you be comfortable letting either one of these men have the power of these two sections of the NDAA? Would you be comfortable with some of their political appointees being delegated this sort of power? And again, I ask you, what sort of person would grant themselves such a power? And again, I ask you, will you protect us? So we call on you to show courage and to show leadership. We ask you to set an example of commitment and integrity. We ask you to lead the way for municipal and county officials nationwide to consider the threat this legislation presents and the terrible misuse of government process that created it. We ask you to stand behind your oaths of office and to stand between us and the government out of control. We ask you to issue a resolution demanding the removal of these two sections from the NDAA, followed by a legal ordinance which announces to our nation that we, the citizens of Lane County, have seen these provisions inserted into the NDAA and clearly declare to all that this exercise of abuse of human rights will never be tolerated in our towns, our homes, or our county.
Thank you, Mr.